This is like the third or fourth time or something we've done.
Yeah.
Like, easily.
Fourth, I think.
This is like the third.
You recording?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Caveh Zahedi. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah. Actually, what is the expression where you're transparent? So when I had you on I put you on speaker and I recorded the conversation because I was like, if he cancels or if he's running like really, really late, I want it on the record. I'll just have it in case I ever need it. No, it's always worked out pretty well.
Yeah. You're just gonna like run like silence for the first 3 minutes I'm late.
That's right. This is should be filled with chat with Caveh. Oh, there's Aziz.
Should we say hi to him?
You want to come in? He's coming in. I guess he has either a sixth sense about your being in the building, or
I called him and told him I was.
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Come on in. Say hello.
Do you want to be on the radio?
We just started like a minute ago.
Oh, you're recording?
Yeah.
No,
the real
like
Aziz
we're
is here.
Recording. It's not like we're on live.
Hey, man, how you doing?
People.
Good.
How you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah.
You guys, you having fun? She's working the beverage of your choice and deliver it.
Do you want anything, Adam?
Maybe we should get teas. Why don't we get tea?
Okay.
A tease.
Herbal tea?
Could you tease us?
Herbal
tea, herbal tea. Yeah, or if they have a mint, anything like that, that would be very lovely.
With honey.
That would be fantastic. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Aziz. Sure, a little bit. Thank you. That's very thoughtful. Oh, very nice. One thing we have to talk about is the show about the show. Because, this is this series that I want people that listen that haven't seen it just to watch it, first of all. You deliver 3 shows have dropped, right? It's a web series for all intents and purposes, though it's on the TV as well. But it's, most people will see it as a web series, and in terms of its length as well. And it's kind of like a inside. It's sort of a meta series. It's completely self-reflective in that each episode is about what just happened the week before or the show before, the episode before.
Yeah, it's about the making of the previous episode.
The making of the previous episode. So, it's a comedy.
And so here's the idea, okay? So the show is about making a show, and it's about making this show. Every episode will be about the making of the previous episode. And so the first episode is the story of the making of the greenlighting, assuming you guys greenlight the show, the story of the greenlighting of the show.
What's the show?
This show.
What show?
This show.
I don't understand when you say this show.
This show, like the show about the show.
You keep saying this show. What does that mean?
Like, for example, we'll shoot a scene where I'm pitching to you the show. Like, that's part of the show.
The lines are blurred between truth and fiction, I guess you could say. And no more than this episode, the third one that I recently watched, because I have to ask you, first of all, what is your relationship like with Aziz, who is the the producer of the show? He's here at BRIC and they're producing.
Well, he's going to bring us some tea.
Yeah. So, well, here's the thing about it: if there is a theme behind it, I would say it's about truth and being like trying to tell the truth. And so, a lot of people that get involved in the show have a difficulty with how much truth is they're comfortable with.
Right.
Like there's always boundaries. So
Right.
it might be I will tell you the truth, but I'm only going to tell you this much of the truth.
Right.
Or they can tell you the truth, but they're also going to tell you some non-truths. Like they need to, like some people are going to say, well, this is my version of the truth, or this is how I need my truth conveyed to, because I can't tell the truth.
I don't think anyone is telling untruths in it. I think they're just, not comfortable with the whole shebang.
Or airing their truths.
Yeah.
like to the
Yeah.
public. So
Yeah.
so for me, like I'm asking, I would love clarity because like it's revealed in the third episode that, for instance, you have deep feelings for somebody you work with on the show. A large component of the series is also you're talking directly to the camera as yourself.
Yes.
And in this one, you're talking a lot about your wife
Mm-hmm.
and about the fact that you guys are in this space where there's a certain amount of instability, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
And you now also have this new thing where you have feelings. So how much are you going to divulge, and how much can you share with your wife? But of course, the inside joke is that it's on a TV show that
Right.
your wife watches,
Right.
so, and she's in fact,
Right.
playing herself. So how much of that is? I mean, what's going on? Is it how much of that really is? And for instance, do you feel like it's not your place to talk about your feelings for that cast member, for instance, or because that would compromise my experiencing the show?
Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't mind. There's certain things that are revealed in episode 4 that I wouldn't mind waiting on.
I see.
But yeah, the thing with Mandy, like I didn't tell her about it. I mean, I was having a hard time telling her, but it was good for the show for me to tell her. So I kind of told her because of the show, and I told her on the show. The show is how it's because of the show that she knows about this.
Right.
So
But
in
that's
that
also
sense-
because of the show that maybe you're feeling it. Like you,
Right.
Because you may not have been
Right.
around this person in
Right.
various stages of undress, for instance,
Right.
and all these other things that can make somebody very appealing to a man.
Yes.
Who's
having a hard time telling her, but it was good for the show for me to tell her. So I kind of told her because of
and it's a lot of meals and thrown around and screaming and crying and the good parts too, of course. And there's your life is centered around creating stability and taking care of your family, and so right, and it's kind of a thankless thing most of the time, as I know too. Most parents. Okay, so to grapple so openly and publicly, does it help you?
it helps me. Yeah,
It does.
It helps our relationship actually.
Does it?
Keeps us honest.
Yeah, and Mandy really respects that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine so, because you know where you're at. You know what you're.
Yeah.
It's not like a mystery.
Yeah. I mean, I think humans are inherently paranoid, and I think in the absence of knowledge, we go towards the worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
At least I do. And so I think when people are really clear about where things stand, it's almost always better than the uncertainty.
Yeah.
And its magnification in the mind.
Also, Mandy reveals that she has this, or you reveal maybe actually that Mandy feels or has an issue around abandonment, which is hard. That's a big deal, and the uncertainty of your marriage, and is Aziz coming back in? Our catering,
He's got 3 T's that he's
our
carrying
craft services.
on a.
Oh, well, let me meet him at the door. No, that I would hope they would reveal. What's the sex? Anyway, so I guess I approach it like you guys still are characters, because I don't know. It's not a verite documentary, so I don't know like if Mandy really does have those issues, for instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's pretty much all true. It's just any story is subjective, and you leave certain things out and you emphasize other things. So,
which gets back full circle. Like obviously, you're leaving there is a sense you're not leaving anything out, but of course that's not probably real life. Real life is you do.
Yeah,
making
even
a
if
show.
it's just for necessity of time or something. You tell a story the way you think to sort of represent a certain aspect of an experience. But I mean, there's no true version of an experience. It's just how it struck you.
Mm-hmm.
So the film. I mean, the show I think is all true. It's what I found interesting about
Yeah, and you're also editing it to make it really entertaining.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Yeah.
there's that.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're also editing in a sense as you go along, as you're writing it, as you're performing it,
Yeah.
and as you're right. I mean, you're
Yeah,
always
yeah.
keeping in mind.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, people keep saying like, so how much of the season's arc do you know? And I'm like, I don't know any of it. I mean,
Right, it hasn't happened yet.
yeah, it's like, it's really evolving organically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wanted to make one comment about the first episode because of my part. I really feel like, because I'm not an actor, that it takes me a little while to get into a rhythm of acting when I am acting. So, like, if you looked at, let's say, that Richard's Wedding movie, you could see because we shot it in order, that you could see at the beginning I'm very uncomfortable. If you know me, or if you see me by the end, you rewatch it, you could tell, oh, he certainly gets more and more sort of, it seems like he's getting more and more comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I feel like in that, I'd like to reshoot it.
Yeah, okay.
Because I feel like I was real stiff. And then I'm disappointed because also I hadn't had prior episodes to inspire me since I was in the pilot. So I didn't have like future episodes to say, oh, wow, well, I know what he's doing. So, which is probably good too, because then I'm not trying to do something. I'm just being, But I felt like as an actor, I wasn't really, or just, whatever that version of acting is, like I wasn't really doing a great job.
No, you weren't. And
okay, that's honest.
Originally, in the second episode, I was going to string together a bunch of your bad takes.
And then I'm disappointed.
How bad they were.
Thank you.
But actually, Peter talked me out of it.
I wouldn't have even minded it because I like to be the butt of that.
That's what I said. I'm sure Adam won't mind. But yeah, maybe I'll do like
I don't know.
deleted scenes or something.
Don't worry about
it. Yeah, okay.
But, so it just takes me. That's all. I mean, because I don't do it frequently enough to get into that.
Yeah, yeah.
I think if I did, I would probably be better. So
yeah, we only did
it's a little
about 30 takes. I think if we did more, you would have gotten it.
It's possible.
Yeah.
If I had just smoked, that might be the solution. Actually, just smoking. I did scribble some notes just to see, but I think
feel free to read them.
Well, these are more. Yeah, these are kind of thoughts that come to me, about it. But I think we actually even answered a bunch of them already. Do you feel like here's the thing? So, given all the work you've done, or most of the work you've done, which has been, well, we already said, telling the truth is a recurring, I think, part of your oeuvre. Do you see any other kinds of, like a way that maybe your storytelling has evolved or changed over the years?
I mean, I'm always trying to find a different way to tell the story of my life as it unfolds. I think what's exciting about this show, and maybe why it's getting a little more, seems to be getting more attention than my other films, is that something about the nature of my work, that it's really an evolving saga. It's like it's just my life as it unfolds.
It's almost real time. Well, it is.
Yeah, it's real time, exactly. And the television medium, or the episodic medium, a little bit of my life, and it's really very natural to what I'm doing. And in a way, it's like the feature film format, it's like, this isn't really appropriate, because it's like, it's done. This is a feature about this period of my life. Okay, that's interesting. But this is more interesting, to see what's going to happen next, what's going to happen next.
Mm-hmm. Right. I wonder if also the intimacy of this type of approach helps that much more, too. Your films are very intimate, generally speaking. And I think, like, the box set, I mean, there's a moment you're talking about Eleonora's boyfriend, who is in the series as well.
Right.
And he used to watch the box. He's watched all. I'm still waiting on my back rating. I'm still waiting on my box set, by the way. But he watched everything. I think I've seen probably at least 3/4 of your output, but I'm not sure. But and just wrote these really long emails, and I assume that's all true. That sounds like something that a real person would do.
I wouldn't make that up. Yeah, he loves my work.
It made its way into the series, though, so you may as well have made it up. I mean, no, meaning that you showcased that.
Yeah.
Emphasized it. I understand it. You get this real intimate connection when you're at home, and watching something than you do when you go to the theater. It's interesting. There's a different the movie theater, which maybe isn't. I don't know why I bring up the movie theater because maybe it's beside the point.
I've read about them.
Well, I mean, the Sheik and I. Is that the name of it? The Sheik and I. That played in lots of festival theaters, obviously. So you had a lot of theater audiences see it, and it had a theatrical, didn't it? Yeah. It was at
tiny one. Yeah.
Was it at the at Rerun, or was it at
Videology?
It was at Videology. That's right. I remember now. That's not a theater.
No.
So that was for, but it may, I don't, with that one it's a little different. That one's maybe the most different film you made, perhaps. But I think your work, people also, my point is maybe some people really respond to it. Those people that are prone to your type of storytelling would really respond to it when they have that intimate thing where they're just like sitting at home, maybe, and watching it. It's an intense experience. I'm not saying they couldn't have an experience similarly in a theater, but it would be different. That's all. In a group, in a crowd. I don't know. Well, that's just something that occurs to me. So it would. I think you probably have a lot of people over the years who have really responded like him, right? Who really, really have to feel like they need to express themselves to you and engage you on that level, right? Because you're really saying something that really matters to them. Yeah,
I mean, you used the word truth earlier, and I mean, I think for me, I would use the word honesty rather than truth.
Okay, that's probably better.
And for me, it's just like I feel oppressed by the bullshit in the world and the way, the map of the human that is presented to us in the media doesn't correspond to my experience of the human, or certainly of my own humanity. And I always feel like whenever somebody shows part of the human that is usually repressed culturally, I'm always thrilled because I always feel, oh, it's okay. It's okay to be me. And I think, a lot of my work is really just about, affirming the parts of the self that usually don't get affirmed. And that's a moving target because, as you age and as things change, you're constantly changing. And you always have new challenges of how to be happy, how to be yourself, how to be honest. And so I just feel like this medium is really great for me because part of my work is about that changing, that moving target of the self. The self isn't fixed, and the Sheik and I was really about kind of these two different notions of the human. The fundamentalist notion, is this is what you're supposed to do, is what you're supposed to be. But then for me, the artistic version of the human is no, there's no rules. You're constantly in flux, and you feel this, you feel that, you feel reverent, you feel irreverent. It's all part of God. God isn't one thing. God is all of it. And so I think there's just a model of the human that I'm trying to present using my life as the canvas, which is all the different parts of the self need to be affirmed and embraced. And so the show, by being, ongoing, sort of allows those dialectical contradictions to exist.
Yeah. Truth is, I guess I appreciate you're making that distinction because truth is, of course, very subjective, and honesty is subjective to others. Like your truth is not necessarily that guy's truth or my truth. But honesty is whatever you it's you doing your best to be as self-reflective as and open about it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I don't know why. Maybe with age or something, I think maybe I'm a little more comfortable with myself.
Well, sure.
And so maybe that's part of this. Maybe there's just a more. I feel like maybe there's more clarity in the voice, or something, or more accessibility maybe in the voice than in previous films. I don't know. I mean, I've always been strange. And maybe I seem maybe a little less strange. I don't know. I've always been too strange for my own good.
Do you feel like the generation of people that you're working with on the series and I don't know, maybe in other projects as a contributing faculty member at the New School? And so therefore I'm assuming you're around people that are in their
young
20s,
people.
30s, whatever. I'm wondering, do you see this maybe generation and more comfortable trying to be honest in their storytelling. And
I think like the YouTube generation thing is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
the upside.
I've always been amazed at how much more receptive young people tend to be to my work than older people. And even films like Sex Addict, that I would think that really young people might be freaked out by, like my students never seem to be freaked out by it. So yeah, and I think teaching has really made a big difference. Like, there's a certain, authority you have to have, for want of a better word. And I think that authority, just kind of translates in a sense to a certain, storytelling authority as well.
Mm-hmm. To get back to the show about the show, which is people can see on YouTube. You can go onto YouTube and you can search BRIC or the show about the show, or Caveh Zahedi probably, and you can see all the episodes that are currently up. You're working you're kind of really being pushed to work a little faster than you probably would normally would, because to meet the deadlines that are being imposed. Yeah. So is that
that's a mixed blessing. I mean, it's good because it makes me work, right? But it's bad because I'm always feeling rushed and stressed.
Yeah.
And
you can search.
Changed if you had a little more time to think about it. Like the perfectionism that I'm used to, kind of has to go out the window a little bit. But yeah, I'm always like way behind schedule, and it's just like it just takes a long time to get it right.
Sure, it's all timing. It's all based on like this kind of comic or dramatic timing.
Yeah,
the editing.
Yeah.
So it seems so far so good, at least.
Yeah, but I'm finding it takes me about 6 weeks to do a show that I feel.
Which they probably would rather you do it in 4 weeks or something.
1 week was the original thing. They wanted one a week.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And is everything else on hold as a result, or
kind of? I mean, yeah. I mean,
how many episodes have you promised?
8. But yeah, I have other projects that I'm trying to also keep alive.
Yeah, right.
But this is taking up 90% of my time.
I bet. Yeah. I overheard you said you were going to Sundance.
Yeah, I have an animated short. You saw it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
The Bob Dylan one.
Oh, very good. So that's been in the shorts?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh, very good. That's nice.
Yeah. So there's that series that I'm also trying to get going.
Right. You talk about experiences meeting people. Right?
Yeah, awkward celebrity encounters.
Awkward celebrity encounters.
Yeah.
Is that available for people to see, or is that offline for the moment?
It's offline for the moment.
Until the festival.
Yeah.
Makes sense, right? They wouldn't want it out there.
Yeah.
Makes complete sense. That's very exciting. Does that matter to you a great deal?
That series?
Just to have a short at Sundance?
Well, no, it doesn't matter to me a great deal. It's always nice to have someone like your stuff, but the main thing is just like
the pedigree of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good place to just meet people and reconnect with people, and I'm trying to get money for that series. So
this is one helpful way to do it.
Yeah.
If it has that Sundance laurel on it.
Yeah.
Whatever. I don't know. Hopefully it'll win. I think it might win something.
It won't.
It's really clever.
It's very light.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give it an award.
Thank God you're not a juror.
I would give it to something, important and meaningful.
Mm-hmm. Do you still get to say an official Sundance competition or something like that?
It's not. The shorts aren't. I guess there is a short competition.
I don't know.
Yeah, because they're eligible for an award, so I guess they're in competition.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I could say that. I don't think I would, but yeah.
Well, I mean, you may as well if you're trying to raise financing for that series.
It premiered at Sundance.
Right. Okay. Okay. And so, that's great. What else is on your mind? Because I feel like always a little bit, like I kind of want to know a little bit more about what's going on in your life.
Still doing the Getting Stoned series. I just did one with Kevin Corrigan, which I screened last night.
Where?
Just in my apartment, just like a test screening.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
how'd that go?
It went great.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I like that episode.
He's terrific.
He is amazing. Yeah.
He's such a nice guy. He did a podcast with Andrew.
Oh yeah.
A few months back, and when results came out.
That's such a good film.
And I had run into him a few times, and I did once came to a screening I hosted of this film that he was in, but he was nice enough to come out to Brooklyn and do a Q&A, and so it was very. It's to give you. He's a real mensch.
Yeah, and he's just really funny.
Yeah.
And then I'm trying to do the Joseph Cornell film.
I know.
I'm shooting it this summer, so I have a lot of pre-production
The
stuff.
documentary or the fiction film?
This has become a hybrid now.
Really?
Yeah, it's become a documentary fiction hybrid.
Well, you just decided to blend the two.
Yeah, just because it's just time limits. I can't.
Does that mean reenactments or something? Or?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's most of it is with actors. And
so you've cast it then? If it's going
Crispin Glover.
He's agreed to do it.
Yeah.
I have been emailing with somebody from another film that he just did, which hasn't come out yet. And I'm just get weird random.
Is his name Boohoo?
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just keep getting an email once every couple of weeks will go by. And there's no continuity and they just because they contacted me. They said, "Would you be interested in getting Crispin Glover?" I'm like, "Of course." I mean, I love the idea of getting Crispin Glover on the show. And then weeks will go by and I don't hear anything, and so that'd be great though to get him on the podcast. I guess as well. I like kind of getting the quirky actor on. That's always fun.
Yep.
So he's going to be in it. He's agreed. It's all a go.
Yeah, I mean,
but you have to do it this summer because he scheduled it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on sabbatical next fall, so I have this kind of brief window that I'm actually available to really focus on a big production. So I'm just shooting it over the summer and the fall.
Okay, and where are you doing that?
Here, New York.
Because he was here, right?
Yeah, he's from Queens.
He is from Queens. Oh,
Yeah.
very good. I'm from Queens.
Oh.
So we should share that. Joseph
Amazing.
Cornell. What are the odds? Okay, well, what time did you say you had to be?
Oh, actually, now.
Okay, you have to go.
I hope you edit a lot.
This one, yeah. Well, with you and because there's things going on and people coming in and out. Even the last one with Peter, I think, was there. And
Yeah, that one was fine. I just think this one needs a little editing.
yeah, this one we'll do that. Yeah, no, it'll be fine. It'll sound great. It will sound great. There's a lot of really good talk. And was Sophie in the next one or something? Or are you just?
I did a game show with her already.
Oh, you're doing. Yeah.
She's
Okay.
just in town, so I just made plans to see her.
Oh, very nice. Okay, well, say hello for me.
I will.
Thank you very much for coming on, and
My pleasure. Anytime.
we'll do it again in a few months or something. We'll figure out something.
Yeah, when my marriage falls apart, you can.
Oh, I hope not.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I hope you two have a great relationship. Let's put it that way. I want for you to have a great relationship with Mandy, and I want you both to be happy. And however that's arrived at is however it is arrived at. Like any marriage. My marriage, I get along better with my ex-wife, and my kid, I hope, is better off for it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Always the hope.
I certainly feel always bad about it.
Yeah.
On some level, especially around this time of year, because
Yeah.
so much pressure to be. People are we're a family, having
Yeah.
family, But anyway, yeah. Well, say hello to Mandy too.
Okay. Well.
I took you out of there. Of course, I took you out of home again. And I was realizing, I was watching episode 3, that if we had done it there, it would have just been another one of those annoying people in her apartment, in her home, taking up space. And so, well, the name of the show again is The Show About the Show. You can find it on YouTube. I'll put links up on our description, and then we'll get more people to see the show because it's highly entertaining. Honest storytelling. Let's put it that way.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you.